Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Good morning. My name is Lloyd Murray. I'm one of the directors of Continent Tours. And good afternoon to those of us who are joining us from Africa, Asia, Europe, and other places. I'm based here in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. For those of you who are not very familiar, I'm almost equidistant between New York and Washington, D.C. Thank you for joining us in this, the fifth episode of our six-part series, Selling West Africa. A little bit of review for those of us who are not very familiar. Continent Tours started its first office in Ghana in 2006. In 2007, we opened in Mali. And in 2018, we opened in Senegal. Continent Tours came on board because we wanted to deliver on our promises. And we figured the best way to do that was to have direct hands-on contact in the areas where we operate. Originally, we focused on West Africa, and customer request pushed us into offering Central Africa. And since then, we've found that with repeat customers and referrals, pretty soon we will be doing the whole continent. As it stands right now, I think Continent Tours has arranged travel for travelers, maybe about 48 of the African countries so far. Now, I know those of you who are used to Tina. I'm not going to be as bright and cheerful and exuberant as Tina is. I found out Tina had to attend a meeting at the tourism board in Accra today. So I'm pinch hitting. For those of you who are familiar with the baseball term, I'm trying to pinch hit for Tina. But most of what we're doing today focuses on Senegal, and our expert, Abu, who is a true expert. He's had experience in all aspects of travel and tourism in Senegal, where he's from. And so he'll take us through this episode focusing on Senegal. Now, next week is the final in this six-part series. And after that, we will look at your comments, we will review, and we will again offer this series starting in September, because our aim is to get our travel agents and our travel industry partners to be real competent, so that by the time they come to us and ask us questions, half the work will be done, and we won't have inexperienced travel agents telling us that their clients have 8 days and they want to go to Ghana and Egypt and South Africa with a rest day. And so that's part of the reason we developed this series, so that we can get our travel agent partners very, very competent, so our work will be easier and their work will be easier. And so without further, I will turn this over to Abu, who is talking to you from Dakar today. So over to you, Abu.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lloyd, for this awesome presentation.
Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, depending on where we are hearing my voice. My name is Abu. I am a tour guide for Continent Tours. I am also leading the operations of Continent Tours here in Senegal. Thank you for everyone for joining this fifth episode of our webinar series about selling West Africa. And our today's presentation will be focused in a West country in West Africa called Senegal. As it knows, Senegal is a land of teranga, and teranga just means the hospitality in Wolof language, being the most spoken language in Senegal. For our today's agenda, we will talk about the airlines because it's really important to know how to get in a country for travelers. And let me tell you that in Senegal, now we have a new airport inaugurated in 2019, and this new airport is located in a really easy access area, and it is called International Blaise Diagne Airport. This airport is not far from Dakar, the capital city, just 45 minutes from also the Sali Beach Resort. So we're gonna talk about the seasons also. Just to let you know that in Senegal, we have two main seasons, the rainy season from July, August, and September, 3 months, and a dry season for 9 months. So we're gonna talk about the money, the local currency in Senegal, that we call the CFA money, built in 1948 by the French people, of course. And after this, we can talk about the recommended tourism sites, just to know if you are in Senegal, what are the essentials or just what we can call the admissible. So we can now see the Senegal in relation with the rest of the world. The Senegal is a country located at the west side of West Africa. And on this slide, you can see we have the Senegal map, green, yellow, and red with a green star in the middle of the yellow band. What is just meaning this flag? The green band is just the south of Senegal that we call the Casamance region. This Casamance region is located below Gambia. The yellow band is just the riches of Senegal, meaning the gold mine that you can find at the east of Senegal in Kédougou region. And the red band is just symbolizing those infantrymen that we call the Black African soldiers who was fighting for the liberation of French during the First World War and also during the Second World War. We sent something around 200,000 people who was fighting for the liberation of French. So we can also see Senegal in relation with Africa. Senegal is neighboring with some countries as Mauritania at the north, we have Mali at the east, we have Bissau Guinea at the west south, and we have Conakry Guinea also at the east side. So from the Senegal, in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, we have some islands that we call the Cabo Verde Islands, but not to be confused with the peninsula of Cabo Verde, which was the former name of Dakar. So the Cabo Verde Islands are from Dakar in 1 hour fly, and the peninsula of Cabo Verde is also called Dakar region. So you can also have the complete map of Senegal. Dakar at the west side of West Africa, as you can see it here, this full map. Dakar is also called the gates of West Africa because of his geolocation. Dakar is a peninsula surrounded by the Atlantic Ocean that we call the seaside. We have something around 750 kilometers of coast in contact with the Atlantic Ocean, from Saint Louis to the north to Dakar in the middle, and from Dakar in the middle to Ziguinchor at the south of Senegal. Dakar is now the capital city of Senegal since 1902, but Dakar was also the former capital city of French West Africa. But just to know that before Dakar, Saint Louis that you can see on this map at the north, 250 kilometers from Dakar, was the first capital city of Senegal and also the first capital city of French West Africa. Dakar is the smallest city in Senegal, but the most populous. In Senegal, we have 16 million inhabitants, and only in Dakar, we have 5 million people who are living. In Senegal, we also have 15 or more than 15 ethnic groups, but this country is a really, really stable country. We never have some troubles, relation with ethnics, with tribal, with racial, or just with religion. People are living in a peaceful way in this country where we have 19% of Muslim and less than 10% of Christian. But nobody can notice the difference between the Muslim people and the Christian people. So 15 regions are registered in Senegal. Dakar is the main one at the west side. From Dakar, we can go to Saint Louis at the north. And when we are talking about Saint Louis also, we can include some tourism sites. When we are talking about Thiès, not far from Dakar also, we can include some tourism sites. So everything is to discover in Senegal. Everything is discovered in Senegal. So now we can have a small country below Kaolack that we call the Gambia. Gambia is landlocked in Senegal. It is an English country, and Senegal is a French country, meaning a former French colony. But however, in Gambia or in Senegal or in Mauritania, in Mali or in Guinea, the relation between our country and the others are really peaceful. So when we are having some tours in Senegal, it's possible to leave the west side to go to Saint Louis, to leave the west side to go just 1 hour at the south of Dakar, where we call the Saly Beach Resort. So Saly is a really main destination for tourism. Then in Saly that we have some Gam Drive Reserve in Banja. In Saly, where we have also not far from the Pink Lake. In Saly, also where we have the most important fishing port of Senegal. So I'm going just to talk about how to get in Senegal, meaning the flights. And Mr. Lloyd, who is leading our marketing office in Philadelphia, can help us to know or just to give us more information about how to get in Senegal. And also, I will be back after. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Abu. As we all know, if we can't get to the destination, or if we're having difficulty getting to the destination, then it's more difficult to get our passengers there, get our clients there. Luckily, we don't have that kind of situation in Senegal. Senegal has an abundance of carriers going in. For example, Air France goes in every day, meaning if you're coming from North America, you'll take the flight and change in Paris, and it's a few hours, you get to Paris late at night. The flight also returned late at night. Now, from North America, there is just one airline now that goes nonstop from New York. That's Delta. I think right now they have only 3 flights per week, but I see where they are increasing the number of flights soon. And we know that in the fall, Air Senegal will inaugurate nonstop flights from New York also. Now, wherever your clients are coming from, whether North America, Asia, or Europe, there are always going to be an abundance of flights. And I'll give you some examples. Air Portugal goes in, so you could change in Lisbon. Air France goes, Delta, KLM, and some other airlines that you may not think of. Ethiopian does go into Senegal. Kenya Airways, and one of the probably lesser known, but this airline goes into Dakar daily, out of New York with a connection in Casablanca, and that is Royal Air Morocco. So it depends on how your clients want to travel. If they want to change in Europe, or if they want to go a couple places in Africa before, or if they want to go nonstop from North America, there are always options. So that part of the challenge is eliminated. Previously, a few years ago, one of our very, very popular tour itinerary was a Senegal and South Africa, where South African Airways would stop changing in the car. People would do their tour in the car and get back on South African Airways a few days later and go to South Africa to complete their tour. Well, since South Africa has, we hope temporarily, stopped their flights, we haven't been able to do that popular tour, but I'm sure we can do it, but it's not as easy. I'm sure by the fall there will be other options where that formerly very popular combination Senegal and South Africa, we can do that again. But overall, you will have no difficulty getting your clients into the car. It just depends on whether they want to change or whether they want to go nonstop. And it seems like whichever day of the week your clients want to get to the car, they can get there. So for the flights, it's going to be nonstop from Europe or nonstop from some other African cities, nonstop from New York. But yes, carriers, lifts getting into Senegal has never been an issue, and it will get even more easier as in the fall of this year. Over to you, Abu.
Thank you very much for those informations about the flight. Very interesting. And we are now moving through an immersion through Senegal to know about the season. As I told that we have two main seasons in Senegal. We have a rainy season started from July to September for 3 months, and a dry season from October to June. Right now in Senegal, we are in the beginning of the rainy season. But just to know that if it's raining in Senegal, it doesn't mean that it is raining a lot all along the day or all along the week or all along the month. No, it just can rain, meaning 2 times a week. And when it is raining, it's just 1 hour, maximum 2 hours, and that's over. So this rain cannot stop people to go to their occupation. So an exception we have in Senegal, that the south, the Casamance region. So the Casamance region, where we have 5 months of rainy season. And in Casamance, as I told you in our map, it is symbolized by the green color because Casamance is just the green point of Senegal. So after the seasons, we can talk about the climate, of course, because it's not very hot in Senegal, not very warm. In Dakar, the temperatures are between 24 to 29 in Dakar, the capital city. In Sali Beach Resort, it is from 29 to 37 in summer. And it's only at the southeast of Senegal where we have the highest temperature, meaning from 30 to 45. And that's why people, when we are traveling with guests at the southeast of Senegal, we know when to go there because sometimes it should be really, really warm. So we can talk about the currency of Senegal that we call the CFA money. The CFA money is divided in 5 banknotes, and the equal of 500 CFA is average $1 American. So we have some banknotes of 2,000, some banknotes of 10,000, some banknotes of 5,000, and also a little banknote of 500. So if the guests are traveling in Senegal and they would like to join another country, meaning Benin, Burkina Faso, Bissau Guinea, Ivory Coast, Mali, Niger, or Togo, they don't use anymore to change their currency because all those countries are using the same currency, such as in Senegal. So when the guests arrive in Senegal also, we can help them, even if they have some American dollars, even if they have other kind of foreign currency, we can help them to find a good rate for change, because in all our physical sites, we have some office for changing money. So then now we can talk about the recommended tours in Senegal, meaning once we are in Senegal, where we can go and what we can see. As I told you, everything is to discover in this country. As you can see on this map, when we are traveling in our tours, we can start from Dakar at the west point. And from Dakar to Saint Louis is 250 kilometers, that we can do it in 3 hours. But just to know that when we are going at the north or when we are going at the south, we are always making some stops on the way to meet the local people and to know about their daily life. When we are in Dakar, after coming from the airport, as I told you that the airport is just less than 1 hour from there to Dakar, customers can have the possibility to overnight in some different kind of hotels, 5-star, 4-star hotels, or just depending on what they need for accommodation. When we are in Dakar, we can have a tour around this capital city of Senegal. So Dakar is mostly lived by the Lebu people. A Lebu is a fisherman, and those people are living all along the west coast from Saint Louis to Dakar and from Dakar to Ziguinchor at the south. So then now here in Dakar, we can have a stop at the Monument of African Renaissance, about 52 meters, and this is the highest world statue on bronze. It was built in March 2010, and this monument or this statue is overlooking Dakar. It is built on a hill. That's why we have something around 152 meters high. It is huge and colossal. At some, we have more than 20,000 tons of shining bronze, and this is the largest statue in Africa. So we can visit this statue and we can get inside the statue where we have an exhibition about the history of West Africa and also about the history of the diaspora. We can have some elevators also to go at the head of this man to have a nice view of the Cabo Verde Peninsula. It is symbolized by a lady, a man, and a boy, a family. So those ones are growing from the darkness to the light. That's why we call it the statue of Reborn Africa. So after this statue, we can drive ahead to go to the next place that we call the place of the infantryman, or the square of the infantryman, symbolized by the red color in our flag. As I told you, during the First World War and also during the Second World War, we sent more than 200,000 people to fight for the liberation of French. And this place is a really critical place in Senegal because this place is close to the port of Dakar, where we take the ferry for Gorée. And this place also was the departure point for those infantrymen during the two wars. That's why behind this statue that we call Demba and Dupont statue, we have the main train station of Senegal built in 1862. So after this place, just behind this train station, we have the Museum of Black Civilization. It is a massive 4-story complex, and it is also the fulfillment of Leopold Sédar Senghor's dream. Who is Leopold Sédar Senghor? He was just the first president of Senegal, and he is also the father for the negritude. The negritude is something relative to the Black people. That's why they call it the civilization, the Museum of the Black Civilization. Since in 1966, when Senegal organized the first World Festival of Negro Arts, that's from this moment that Leopold Senghor would like to build something really special for the Black people. And inside this museum, from the first hominids, showing Africa, the cradle of the humanity, Africa being the invention of the metallurgy, the mathematics, the chemistry, the astronomy, and the medicine. We can have 1 hour inside this museum discovering the 4th floor, and we have a special place also dedicated for the diaspora, both men and women. So this museum is inaugurated in 2019, And inside we have a collection of different exhibition, ceramic and painting statue. Just on the way for the monument, we have this mosque that we call the Mosque of the Revelation, built aside the ocean. And this mosque belongs to a special community in Senegal living in Wakam that we call the Lebu people. So now from Dakar, we can drive straight to go to the north, or just from Dakar, we can drive to go to the south. Going to the north is going to St. Louis. But when we are driving from Dakar to St. Louis, of course, we should, at first, before going out of Dakar, of course, we should stop at the port of Dakar to be at Gore Island. As you can see it on this slide, Gore is a small island measuring from the south to the north, 900 meters, and from the east to the west, we have just 300 meters. 1,500 people are living on Gore. And Gore is composed by two sides. We have the top side where we have the cannon, and the low side where we have the accommodation, the guest house, the markets, and the restaurants. Our main visit on this island should be the slave's house, this pink building you have. And the most important thing in how this house is this small point that you can see over the ocean that we call the door of no return. It was from this door of no return that more than 20 million slaves crossed on their way for slavery for Americas. So Gore was just a transit point for those slaves. When they were catched by the slave masters everywhere in Senegal or West Africa, they was packed inside this house for waiting for the deportation. So when we are visiting this slave's house, we can have a presentation from the curator of this house, and he can explain us better about the captive lives. Just for information, we had more than 25 slaves' house on the Gore Island, and all those slaves' house was built around the island. So this one was only kept to try to explain to the peoples what was really happened at that period in 1535 to 1848, the date of the abolition of the trade slaves. So by a ferry also, we can link Dakar to Gore, and by the same ferry, we have 3 ferries, by another one, we can link now Gore in the afternoon or just 2 hours after, we can link Gore to come back on the mainland in Dakar and to drive ahead to the Pink Lake. The Pink Lake is located just 1 hour or less than 1 hour from Dakar. And also the Pink Lake is just 1 hour, 30 minutes from the seaside resort beach, Sali. So the Pink Lake is a rare phenomenon caused by a combination of microorganisms. We have a rate of salt of 380 grams of salt in 1 liter of water. The Pink Lake is 11 times more salty than the Atlantic Ocean. 380 grams of salt in 1 liter of water make this lake the second place in rate of salinity after the Dead Sea in Israel. So people can swim or not, but they always float on the surface of the water. If you are visiting this place, it's just a break in our way between Dakar to St. Louis. And why the lake is famous is just because it was the final stage of the race, the Paris-Dakar race. So that's why many people, when they are coming in Senegal, they would like really to go to see the Pink Lake. The pink color is caused by a bacteria, a non-dangerous bacteria for the peoples. This bacteria is called Artemia salina. And to resist in this high salt concentration, the bacteria is secreting a red pigment that makes the lake this color. Sometimes we have a blue lake, sometimes we have a brown lake, a purple or a mauve lake. It's depending now to the sun, the wind, and the growing of the bacterial, then we can have this pink color. When we are visiting the Pink Lake also, we can visit a nearby Fulani village on the dune to meet the chief and his wife. And also we can visit the salt exploration, because at the Pink Lake, Senegal export more than 20,000 tons of salt every year. So up to the Pink Lake, we can have the possibility to go to the north or just to come down to go to Banja Natural Reserve, being a game drive. Banja Natural Reserve is housed in a forest, in a class 5 forest, and it has a superficie of just 3,000 hectares. So we can have 2 hours maximum a safari, meeting most of the time some herbivorous animals, as some rhinoceros, some buffaloes, antelopes, some impalas gazelle, some eland, kudu, some giraffes, some monkeys, some zebras, etc. We have just a family of hyenas in an enclosure. So visiting Banja Game Drive also is very interesting because Banja is not far from Sali Beach Resort, where I told you that it is one of the main destinations in Senegal. In Banja, we can also visit a special baobab that we call the Tomb of the Griot. Who were the Griot? Griot were people of caste, such as the storytellers, the drummers, the singers, and once dead were often buried inside the hollow of the baobab trees. The baobab is the emblem of Senegal. We don't use the wood of the baobab because it is a pile of fiber. So during our visit in this game drive reserve, we can know better about those people that we call the griot people, and once dead was buried inside the hollow of the baobab tree. So after Banja or after the Pink Lake, let's now drive 200 kilometers to go to the north in Saint Louis. Saint Louis is located at the north end of Senegal and not far from Mauritania border. Saint Louis was the former colonial city of Senegal, and also before Dakar, the former capital colonial of French West Africa till 1902. Ndar is the original name of Saint Louis, Ndar, N-D-A-R. But just to know that Saint Louis is just an island settled in the middle of Senegal River, and Saint Louis is made by houses built of brick, red tiles, and rose iron balconies. It is a world heritage by its mythical colonial past. When we are in Saint Louis on the island, because as you can see on this picture, it is linked on the mainland by a bridge that we call Faidherbe Bridge, and Faidherbe was also a governor in Senegal in 1865. By horse carriage, we can have a visit of the city of Saint Louis, and also to visit the area of the fishermen, to meet those people that we call the Signard. A Signard is a race of mixed people coming from a father, European father, and African black slave. So those Signard, they inherit of those houses in Gorée, in Dakar, in Saint Louis, and in Rufisque, because those four cities, Gorée, Dakar, Saint Louis, Rufisque, was the main French cities in West Africa as in Senegal. We can also visit the fishing port of Saint Louis and meeting those local people to know about their daily life. We can have a night just overnighting in Saint Louis before going through at the north in Juge Bird Sanctuary. The sanctuary of the birds of Juge is located on 1 hour at the north of Saint Louis. And this is the third world bird sanctuary. So the most popular birds that you can find them are the pelicans. And this Juge bird sanctuary is located at the southeast bank of Senegal River. It means that the water is not a salty water, but fresh water. And Juge bird sanctuary is the first point of water for migratory birds just after flying over the Sahara Desert. So by boat, we can sail to observe more than 400 species coming to this place every year, every winter, as a cormorant, as a pelican, the kingfisher, the flamingos, the eagles, the crocodiles, everything is to discover at Juge Park. So covering a surface of 16,000 hectares by wetland, comprise a large lake surrounding by streams, ponds, and swamps. So we can stay there for 2 hours, maximum 3 hours, and after going back to Saint Louis, where we can have our second night in Saint Louis, or just driving 1 hour at the south of Saint Louis for the desert of Lompoul. The Lompoul desert is unique in Senegal. It is a desert of yellow sand dune. And when we are going from Saint Louis to Lompoul desert, we drive by the coastal line road to arrive at Lompoul village at first. And now from Lompoul village, we can change means of locomotion to embark into some pickups to reach our camp in the desert. Covering an area of 18 kilometers square, this desert is nestled between the Great Coast and the forest of eucalyptus. And it is characterized by its pink and orange dune. So once we are here in the afternoon, we can enjoy a camel ride and stop on the top of the dune for our postal card with a really nice panorama view of the coastal line at sunset. At this camp of Lompoul desert, At nighttime or just before dinner, we can have djembe dance entertainment before overnighting in some really comfortable Moorish tents, just to look like some nomadic people. And just after this place, we have here only one night in the desert of Lompoul. We can drive now to go at the south of Senegal. It should be at the south of Senegal, or just it should be in the Saloum Delta, located not far from Gambia border. So when we are going to the south, we can have a stop in Touba. Touba is a holy city and is among the unmissable, because when we are leaving St. Louis for the south, we should stop in Touba to visit this holy city of the Murid. The Murid are a powerful brotherhood born in Senegal. And Touba is located just in the center of Senegal, where there we can have the possibility to visit the most magnificent mosque in West Africa. Touba is sometimes compared to Vatican by its autonomous administration. We will learn in Touba about Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba, the spiritual founder of this Muridism. And we can spend also a few minutes in the large library, which hold thousands of volumes, all handwriting by the mystical founder. We can learn about the history of Touba. We can visit the mosque of Touba, and then we can move away to go to the Saloum River, to visit Joal, or just to visit the delta of the Sin Saloum River. So you can have Touba in our next slide, please. So you have them, you have here the mosque of Touba. And just on the second picture, you have this man with the white dress. He's called Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba, and he is the founder of this mystical way that we call the Mouridism. So after this religious pilgrimage, because in Senegal, we have a very big pilgrimage held in Touba, and for 3 days, this city can receive more than 60 million people, and everything is free during the pilgrimage. They are just celebrating the departure of exile of this founder of this confrérie. So then now we are at the south, or just at the gates of the south. We should be in Joal. Joal, it was just in the 16th century, a Portuguese trading post. And also we have the Sin Saloum Delta being a UNESCO World Heritage. And this Sin Saloum Delta is a very big ecological complex of 205,000 hectares. So we can have a boat to sail inside this forest of mangrove trees to meet the Nyominka tribes, which are living on this on the islands, and also to have overnight in the delta. Because once we are at the delta of Sin Saloum, the next stage should be the south of Senegal or just Gambia. Because as I told you, Gambia is on the way from the north of Senegal to the south. So having one night in the Sin Saloum Delta, and after this one night, we can cross Gambia in 2 hours, fixing the formalities at the borders, linking the North Gambian border, crossing through Gambia from the north to the south, to be again in Casamance region at the south of Senegal. So Casamance region is the southwest of Senegal, and also we call it the southern or the green point of Senegal. Casamance region is a symbiosis of people and belief, with irrigated lands by endless stream and river. Casamance is a narrow sliver of land sandwiched between Gambia at the north and Guinea-Bissau at the southwest. The Casamance is made by rainforest, rice fields, and wide landscape of various people. Casamance is the land of the Jola tribe. Jola are the main ethnic groups in Casamance. And in Senegal, Wolof is the main ethnic groups. Wolof is the main language. But after the Wolof, we have the Serer, we have the Fulani, we have the Jola, we have the Basari. And each ethnic group has its own language and its own activity. And even if we have various ethnic groups, various language, or just a various belief, people are still living in a really peaceful way. For this next slide, we can have Casamance region. And Casamance region, when we are talking about this area, we can talk about the king of Oussouye. At the south of Senegal, in Oussouye, the things are really traditional. All the traditional celebrations take place. When we are in Oussouye, on the next slide, please, we can meet the king of Oussouye, and our audience will be held at the gates of the sacred wood. The king of Oussouye, you can have it here with a red dress, hold under his responsibility the well-being of this Jola community. We can meet him and we can interact with him and his couch. He is the conservative figure of the Jola culture. He has ensured the peace and social cohesion of the people, and he is still a very powerful king. So from the southwest to Senegal, meaning the wood in the Casamance, we can drive to go now at the southeast of Senegal that we call the Kédougou region. The southeast is located between Conakry, Guinea, and the Mali. And it is the southeast where we have our waterfalls. When we are going to the southeast in Kédougou, we can meet the Bedik or the Basari people. Bedik and Basari peoples are some Fulanis, and they are living in some awesome countryside, perched villages in the mountains, from of mountain of endless landscape. Those people are animists, and this life, everything is linked around the ritual of initiation and the traditional ceremonies. The Basari people at the southeast of Senegal, we can see it on the next slide, refuse to submit on any other religion. That's why they keep being animist. So the animism in Africa or in Senegal is a belief on everything. They have a strong link with the wood. The animist people have a strong link with the stones, and they have a strong link with everything. That's why when we are at this side of Senegal, everything is celebration, everything is festival, and everything is initiation and rituals. It is at this side of Senegal that we have the waterfalls of Dindifelo, something around 82 meters high, because here we are not far from Guinea, Conakry, the reserve of Africa in water. So when our guests are visiting the southeast of Casamance, they can be invited by the local people to do the daily activities, to know how to pound the millet, to know how to make the rice, or just to go to take some water from the wells. So they can be helped by the young girls, as you can see on the pictures, to get those nice bread and just to participate to their ritual of initiation. So the southeast of Casamance is also the region where we have our gold mine. It is just to tell you that in Senegal also, we have really rich mineral resources. We have gold, we have marble, we have petrol, we have oil, and also now we have zirconium at the north. So this last slide, this should be my last presentation about this webinar, 5th episode of Selling West Africa. I stay available if you have any question about all these those slides that we just have to see. Thank you for your attention. Merci. You are on mute mode, Mr. Lloyd. Okay.
All right. Thanks, Abu. Great presentation. Before I forget, as I mentioned, we're developing these webinars to educate our travel partners about the destinations we offer, especially our primary destination. Number one for us is Ghana, and number two is Senegal. What we've been seeing recently, though, a lot of people have been trying to do combination tours. They want to go to Senegal and Ghana. We do that also. Now, because we're trying to get this as informative as possible, we're asking our attendees to comment on our webinars, to send us suggestions as to what we should include, what may not be necessary. So we're gonna depend on you to give us your feedback, whether you think we're going to like those feedbacks or not, because our aim is to develop very informative, give you all the information you need to prepare your clients and offer them the best that West Africa has to offer. We're going to depend on you to help us to improve on our offerings. And so we'll take questions now about this presentation. and your suggestions about the webinar in particular, you can write to us, tell us that on the phone, text us. We'd appreciate that. So questions, please.
Thank you very much, Lloyd. If somebody have some questions, I'm here and really glad to answer about it.
Yes, good morning, Abu. Thank you for the presentation. And Lloyd, so far, everything has been very informative. So thank you for that. My question, Abu, on the tours where you included the monument all the way down to the game reserve, can that be done in one day or does that take several days?
Thank you very much, Claudia, for this interesting question. Linking Dakar to the Saleh Beach Resort, it can take almost 3 days, 2 nights. In our package, we have some packages were 7 days to visit Dakar and also to visit the Saleh Seaside Resort Beach. It should be in 7 nights, but if you have 3 nights, 3 days, 2 nights, it's really possible to visit.
Standard, or we have sort of standard tours that we know people like, and these sell very regularly, frequently, but we are not hesitant to customize our offerings. For example, our tours in Senegal usually include the first 2 nights in Dakar. Then you go by Pink Lake to the north, St. Louis, and you spend 2 nights there. When you're returning, you stop at Atuba to visit that mosque, and you continue south to Kaolack before ending at Saleh Beach Resort. Saleh Beach Resort is much closer to the new airport than the previous airport, and so what we like to do is to let people spend travelers spend the last night at Saleh Beach Resort. That's when they can go to Bandia Game Reserve, and the next day, depending on their flight, it's just a straight shot to the airport. They get there in less than an hour. Those are like our standard Dakar, St. Louis, Kaolack, Saleh Resort out. But of course, we will customize for any number of days, and not only customize for Senegal, but a lot of times people are there in Senegal, especially when it's a group, they want to drive on up to, they want to continue south to the Gambia and spend a few nights in the Gambia, and people like to go to Jufere, made famous by the late author Alex Haley, return to Dakar and out. We can do those tours, but we can also customize any number of days, any activities travelers want to do, not only in Senegal, but combination Senegal with the Gambia.
Thank you very much, Lloyd, for those informations.
Any other question?
Yes, I have a question. Oh, I'll let Johnny go.
Okay. I'd like to cover accommodations or hotels in the locations. I know that would be important to a lot of my travelers.
Abu, Mr. Jones, I didn't quite hear that about the hotels. What did you say about the combination hotels?
Sometimes I would like to see slides of the hotels or accommodations in the locations.
Okay.
That would be very important to my clientele.
Great, good comment, and we will provide that. I think next week Abu is also presenting on Senegal and the combination tours that we do with Senegal.
Yes.
Just to add though, as in most metropolitan African cities, Dakar has a wide variety of hotels from 5-star luxury to the small owner operated 2-star bed and breakfast. When you move from Dakar going north, for example, I note Abu was presenting on the sand dunes. Remind me, Abu, the location of the
Lampool Desert.
Lampool Desert. Lampool Desert, you have a limited offering there. And so, but most times people are not spending too many nights there, but you do have the sun and sea vacationers, mostly from Europe, who will spend several nights there in that area in Lampool. And of course, they want the basics. When you continue on north, up in St. Louis have always had a generous offering of 3-star hotels. I think they have 1 4-star there. And coming back, going south, in some areas, it's limited to 3 stars. But of course, when you come back to the final destination where we'd like to put people, Sally Beach Resort, that has quality 5-star luxury accommodation. But yes, that's a good point. We will include the offerings of hotels that are in each area, especially in the locations where the hotel offerings are limited, where if you're going to spend a night here, it's going to be basic. You'll have air conditioning, and but you're not going to have a choice of luxury 4-star. But thanks for that point. We'll include the list of hotels at each of those places that our tours mostly stop. In the Casamance region that Abu mentioned, in the green belt that he says has 5 months of rainy season, in that area, that's not a resort area. And one of the more well-known accommodations they have there is the Club Med Resort. Is that true, Abu?
Yes, that's the Club Med Resort. That's the Club Med.
Right. Of course, if you're going to take in the Casamance region, it would take you a few more days than our regular 7-night, 8-night best of Senegal. That takes that's for those travelers who have a little more time and want to have some more adventure.
Great.
Any other questions?
Yes, I have a couple of questions. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Charlotte, North Carolina in the house. Abu, that was excellent.
Thank you very much.
I'm excited. Use to Endure has a nice CD and a video. It's called I Bring What I Love, and he represents Senegal very well. He's got a song in there about tuba, and I wanted to go ever since I saw that video.
I see.
But I do have a couple of questions. What's up? And I know you probably discussed it earlier, but what's the number of days to do a Senegal Gambia tour? Would that be 10 or 12 days?
You can do it we have someone for 9 days.
Oh, for 9 days, okay.
9 days Senegal and Gambia package.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I was just reminded that our next presentation next week, we will go in detail about some of the accommodations at each location. we have, in addition to what Abu said in response to Marine's question, we have some standard itineraries, 10 days, 9 nights, Senegal and the Gambia that we recommend. We've seen a lot of times our travelers or group travelers are pressed for time. And so we provide those suggested 9 nights, which includes either 2 or 3 nights in the Gambia. But if we had our way and we were recommending these to our cousins, we would try to get them to spend 12 nights, because the 12 nights would give them a leisurely tour experience with at least 3 nights in the Gambia, and coming back to Senegal, they would spend at least 1 other night before departing. But we've learned to accommodate our clients, and we see the frequency of they have 9 nights or 10 nights, and so our standard Senegal and Gambia is 10 days, 9 nights. But and I'd say you can encourage your clients at all times to spend as much time as possible, because they're coming from far. Airfare is a significant part of their travel costs. And if you spend 7 nights, 8 nights, 12 nights, it's the same airfare. And so the difference between 10 nights and 11 nights may be quite likely a better experience. And the 11 nights will cost a little more, but it's not significant compared to the fact when considered that a significant part of your cost is the airfare already that you're going to spend, whether it's 7 nights, 8 or 11 nights. So the more generous amount of time they have, the better the experience. I've yet to hear a traveler said there was too much time in Senegal or too much time in Ghana. I wish we hadn't spent so much time. I wanted to get home. No. They always say I wish we had more time. They didn't have. I had to go back. And so if we are to encourage you, have them. It's not like the Caribbean that you sit on the beach and run back home. Most times people are going for the first time. Have them spend some time and get a good feel for the culture and the history of the destinations. The other thing, I've seen people who, wow, they said, we're going 12 days. I want to go to 4 or 5 countries. We can do that, but that's hopping around and returning tired in a visa to every place. And even when we get back to normal, where you don't need a COVID test for every place, spending only 3 nights in one country and jump into the other one, that's probably for the backpackers, but not for people who want to get a good feel for the destination.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
It was very good.
Okay. And I'm just told they've just put a link in our presentation to the list of offerings we have for Senegal. And as I said, customization is the watchword. We can always change things and add days or even reduce days. Some people still just want to hop in and hop out, so we'll do that also. Any questions? I know most people are expert on the carriers and the flights that's going to get you to the destination. As I mentioned, there's no shortage for Senegal.
I have a question. With Royal Air Maroc going into Senegal, do you get any requests for like Morocco-Senegal combination packages?
We haven't seen that, but I'm sure that that can be done, of course. Royal Air Maroc had a history, I think they still do that, where if you are spending more than a certain number of hours connecting, they in Casablanca, they'll take you to a hotel they own nearby, and you spend as much time there as is necessary to go back to the airport and catch your flight. And what they do, they give you a room and all the meals that you need while you're there, whether it's breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or just lunch or just dinner, depends on how long you're going to be there. And then they take you back to the airport to catch your flight to wherever in West or Central Africa that you're going to. So I'm sure if there's a stopover, it may cost a little more, but that definitely can be done. I have to think if we've ever done something like that, but yes, that can easily be done. Where you spend some time in Morocco, catch your flight, and go on to West Africa. And they go out of New York daily, and I know they have another flight, I think, comes out of Miami someplace. So that's a convenient alternative. From New York to Casablanca, it's about 8 hours, and they get to most West and Central Africa countries daily.
Well, I'll be calling you about a group that wants to go in January.
Great. We like to hear about groups. And January is a good time for Senegal. It's cool, very cool at that time. Cool also in Morocco. So, well, thank you again for attending, and please keep your questions and comments coming. And next week, Tina will be back to take us through the final of this first 6-part webinar series. Have a good day, everyone. And thanks for attending.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very
Great.
much, Lloyd. And thank you very much, everyone, for attending to this meeting. Thank you. And
Wow.
see you for next week for another episode of our webinar series. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Take care.
As usual, it was great. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much also.
See you next week.
See you next week at the same time.